Hello friends, welcome. Friends, this is going to be a very interesting video. So I will encourage all the users to watch this because this is going to be close to your heart, which is what? Mobile security. Now you might have heard about mobile security a lot, but the kind of threats that we face regarding mobile security may not be so clearly visible to you because the technical concept about this may not have been conveyed to you in a simpler term. Now, what I did, friends, in the morning when I was watching this video, which is titled Exposing the Flaws in Our Mobile System, I saw that this person, which you see in this video, which is running this channel called Veritasium, he does an excellent job. So he explained in this video that how our conventional SS7 signaling systems are hugely prone to hacking attack. So what does it mean? Hacking attack means that if you as an user using a mobile phone, and if somebody is able to get to know your mobile phone without you having done any positive action on your mobile phone, means sending sharing OTP or anything else, without you being completely passive, you haven't done anything wrong, still your phone can be cloned and your messages and voice call can be heard or routed to a third party. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like so scary. You have a mobile phone. That mobile phone, you are completely passive. You haven't done anything wrong. Neither you have clicked on a link. Neither you actually have shared OTP. You've done nothing. You're simply using a mobile phone. Still your mobile phone can be cloned. Not that simple clone that SIM cloning. It is not SIM cloning that you take a SIM, go and buy a SIM in your name, then you plug it on in your phone. That is called SIM duplication. It's not SIM duplication. It is a simple cloning of your mobile phone without getting into the process of social engineering, which is called faking your documents and doing a SIM cloning. That's a complete simple thing. It is about getting access to the telecom network itself and cloning the system because the system is prone to such attack. It is not secure. That is what this guy was trying to explain in this video, and I found this video very important to take this discussion a little further because the video becomes a little technical in nature and some people may not be able to appreciate the concept in a very clear term. So what I thought that I'm going to use this video to explain this concept is much more clearer term what this video was capable of doing. I may not be able to do every bit of the job, but I will make an attempt to make it simpler so that you understand. Now friends, what I did was I wrote an article in the morning regarding this subject. Now, the reason for me writing this article also got triggered by another event which happened in Lebanon. You might have heard that pager blast took place, right? So I was thinking at the back of the mind that this is a huge security risk and why people are using pager, right? So you might be also thinking at the back of the mind why people are using pager. Mobile phones are available. What is the need for a legacy technology like pager? Now, when you go through this explanation, which I'm going to do in this video, you will understand that why people have started using pager. Because pager as a system does not allow you to know the location where you are, as a SS7 mobile system will be which will enable a hacker to know your location with the granularity of a cell tower. It's very easily possible. And it will become much more empowering to a state level actor, right? Let me explain. Now, the description of this, the link of this video, this article, I am going to share in the description. Now, let me just go step by step, right, and go slowly because the concept is very technical in nature. So you need to understand this concept in a very simple manner. Otherwise, we'll get lost. Now, let's understand this. In an SS7 system, there are various signaling points. Right? What is SS7? SS7 is nothing but the mobile network's ability to communicate with each other and able to find the other mobile to which one of the mobile is trying to call. Means it is this SS7 signaling system is used to set up the call between two mobile trying to connect with each other. Right? It is almost analogous to a IP router routing the IP packets to the website in which you are trying to connect, right? So let's say if you have a server on the other side and you are in this side and you are trying to connect to the server, the IP system will be able to route the packets through the entity in which you are trying to communicate. The SS7 signal is analogous to a mobile network. You can say that it's almost like an IP system for the mobile network. And in order for it to function, there are certain transfer points or control points and service points, which is mentioned here in my article. And I'm going to show this in a slide. So let's go to the slide which will make things much more clearer. Typically, in a mobile network will look something like this. You will have a mobile switching center, okay? You will have a tower and you will have a mobile phone, right? This mobile switching center is going to be parented to, or this mobile phone will be parented to this mobile switching center through this tower, right? That's how it works. Everybody knows about it because the tower is a conduit to you being able to transmit to the mobile switching center, which will switch your call. Similarly, there will be another mobile switching center where the called party to which you are trying to reach is going to be connected. Simple. There is no no lack of clarity in this, that you as a mobile A trying to call mobile B. Now, in order for you to able to call the mobile B in a network where multiple such MSCs or mobile switching centers are located, you need to figure out a mechanism to find out where mobile B is. Otherwise, how will you call? There will be multiple such mobile switching centers where this mobile B can be parented. So typically what happens is that any mobile which is hooked onto a network, any network, right, will be advertising its location on a real-time basis. So this mobile B will advertise to the MSC to its location on a real-time basis, and that information is going to be stored in the visiting location register called VLR, right? So this is how it works. So this information is going to be available in the VLR. So now what you do is, you are mobile A and you are trying to reach mobile B. What you will do, through the SSP, which is called the full form of SSP you can find in this particular article, right? So SSP is service switching point. Similarly, STP is signal transfer point and SCP is service control points. Each of them has its own function. So what this service switching point is going to do is, it will transmit, it will basically ask the HLR, right? First, it is basically going to ping this HLR, its particular home HLR, right? And it'll say that, okay, can you find this mobile B here? Well, it's no. This HLR will say no. So then it will going to start advertising the signal, right, of where the mobile is to various elements in the network using an SS7 signaling, right? So what will happen is that once that signaling system gets invoked, he will come to know, or he or she will come to know that, oh, by the way, mobile B exists in the, or is currently parented to the VLR of MSC2. Once that information is retrieved and sent by MSC2 to MSC1 and is conveyed to mobile A, then both the mobiles are going to get connected using a separate voice path. This is as simple as that. I don't want to get into too much complication. Otherwise, what will happen is, it will get too complicated. You can look at this simple call flow by pausing this video, right, which is very clearly listed out. What it says, mobile A initiates a call, request MSC1 SSP. MSC1 sends a query to other SSP located in the to locate mobile B, which I told you. MSC2 checks the HLR VLR of mobile B current location and responds to MSC1, and MSC1 connects both mobile and they begin communicating. Voice communication takes place on a separate channel. Simple as that. Now the problem here is the following. All these communication between these adjuncts, which are MSC1, HLR, VLR, between SSPs, STPs, etc. These SS7, so-called SS7 signaling, these happen in a unsecure mode, clear text mode. Means that the network element, right, which is communicating with each other, assumes that they are trusted. Trusted means, as long as you are part of a telecom network, right? You assume that these network elements are trusted, they don't need to be authenticated. This is the fundamental principle on which SS7 signaling works. So you don't authenticate. So when you are transmitting, when MSC1 is sending a message to MSC2 or any other network element, the network element, when it receives a signal from an SSP, which is part of the SS7 signaling system, which is the conventional legacy mobile system, it does not authenticate. Because it does not authenticate, that creates the vulnerability. And let me explain by going back to my article. So now you know that why do we need SS7 signaling, which I explained to you through this diagram. And I also told you that why SS7 signaling system is vulnerable, because if you look at this, it says it here in this particular portion, it's clearly summarized. The vulnerability arises because the network element trust each other implicitly and do not verify the authenticity of the signaling message, and also these messages are transmitted in clear text form without any encryption. That is the key problem with this system. This means, so what does it mean? This means that if an attacker gains access to the SS7's network, typically through a compromise or a rogue network element, they can masquerade as a legitimate node. This allows them to intercept messages, track user location, or reroute traffic without detection. Note, regular mobile users do not have this capability. Now, this is important to understand. Let's say you are a mobile user, right? You have a mobile phone. Do you have this capability to hack the system using a conventional mobile phone? No, you cannot do that. But let's say you, either as a government agent or you are in a country where an operator is compromisable, means he gives you an access to the SS7 signaling system and allows you to act like an SSP. Means you need to act like an SSP, at least like an SSP. If you are not allowed to act like an SSP, then you cannot carry out this attack. It is very, very important. So that only happens in a country where system is porous, means an operator is allowed you to enter the mobile network system, because every operator is connected with each other. Because if you are not connected with each other, the mobile call flow will not happen, right? You need to call one country to another country, and therefore all the networks are connected to each other. Initially, when the mobile networks were limited, this problem did not exist, because these mobile networks were run by big companies in big countries and they were reasonably secure and protected, and there was no such common vulnerability, at least at the user level, did not happen. But now there are small countries where networks are deployed, which are connected to the big countries, right? And there are countries where the political system is very porous, the morality is porous. You can bribe the operator and you can get an access to an SS7 system. Once you get an access to a SS7 system and you are able to emulate yourself as an SS7 node point, then what happens is that then you can do lot of things which is not possible conventionally. Then you can act like an MSC or an SSP. Then what you can do is that you can ask for the location of the mobile phone which you are trying to call. So let's say you can basically initiate a message. Let's say if you are acting like an MSC, you are initiating a message, and the messages which are going to be received by all the switching points, SSPs, STPs, SCPs, those will recognize you as a genuine user. They don't know your authenticity, right? They will not be able to verify your authenticity because the system does not work on verification of authenticity. They will simply trust you that since you are part of the network, you are a trusted entity. So when that happens, then what will happen is any message that you send which requests the location of the mobile which you are trying to hack will get transmitted back to you, and you will know exactly the location of the mobile. There are certain kind of protection and precautions which are being taken by mobile operator, which I'm going to explain to you, which prevents that to happen, which a lot of precautions have been taken after a lot of vulnerabilities have been exposed, but those are secondary discussion. We'll have that discussion, but normally you will get the location information. Once you get the location information, then what you do? Let's go step by step, right? So what we saw, that how an SS7 signaling system can be hacked. All a hacker needs is an access to the SS7 network, which we saw. Then once inside the system, the hacker only needs the target's mobile number. It doesn't need anything else. Then after that, with this, the attacker masquerades as a legitimate MSC, mobile switching center, and sends a query as send routing information SRISM, or provide the subscriber information message to the home location register. The HLR, which keeps tracks of the subscriber location, will respond with the current VLR location, visiting location, because every net, as I told you, then mobile will keep on advertising. So you will come to know the VLR of the target mobile which you are trying to hack. Once you know the location of the target mobile, then what you can do is that as an attacker, the MSC, you can send an update location message to the HLR. Means you say that, because MSC can tell the HLR that, look, my user has shifted from that VLR location to a current location which you are currently stationed. Because you can basically fake the system to understand that the user which was sitting here now has shifted here. That is easily possible by a message called update location. Now, once you have sent an update location, pretending that the target has moved to the attacker VLR MSC, this tricks the HLR to believe that the user has changed location. Once the HLR updates his record, the attacker's fake VLR. All incoming messages meant for the target is rerouted to the VLR or the MSC, and this allows the attackers to intercept and manipulate target communication, often without the target or the legitimate network elements being aware. Means we will not even come to know that your phone is getting hacked or your messages are getting listened by somebody else. Now, as I told you that mobile locations are being tracked by the SS7 signal. You need to know the mobile location. Now, in a conventional GPS system, what happens? The GPS is a completely independent system because it is being tracked by satellite, and where you know exactly pinpoint within a matter of accuracy of few meters the location of the entity, the mobile or the element that you are trying to track. In case of a conventional mobile network, the location information can be traced to the level of the tower. Means you will be able to know exactly at the level of the tower where the mobile is located. Let's say if this is a dense urban area, then within a matter of 100 meters, you will know that this mobile is within this tower location. That is very easily possible once you have having the access to the network and you are acting like an MSC. Okay. So once you have that, then what happens is that, because this information will be very easily made available to you, because you can ask the system to provide any information about any mobile. Due to this vulnerability, some organization has reverted to using pagers, because in a paging system, this particular concept does not work. What happens in a paging system is that you have a tower. Right? It's a huge tower, maybe a 100-meter tower or a 50-meter tower, and that tower is going to broadcast messages in a forward direction only, and you are not required to transmit in the reverse direction. There is no exchange of information happening between the device and the tower. It is one-sided information only. Because it is one-sided and it is a broadcast information and which is spread across the city or a very large area, because the tower is a high-power tower, it is very difficult to know exactly where the pager is. It's because they will continuously transmit in all the locations. If there are multiple such towers, which is covering 100 square kilometer, 200 square kilometer, when you paging, all these towers starts communicating or transmitting simultaneously. Wherever you are, you will get the message. So your location information is not available, and that is why, because people know about this vulnerability, they are switching to pager based system, which is actually happened in Lebanon. The terrorist organization started using this kind of system, And because this kind of cat and mouse game keep on happening, and they probably had figured this out, and they thought that okay, if you are doing this, we will have other means of settling scores with you, and they have done it using a different kind of, which is a physical intervention into the device itself. Who has done it? I am not speculating. I am only saying that this probably has happened because the location information is clearly visible by using an SS7 signaling system, because the information is available to whoever is capable of acting like an SSP, right? Now what happens in case of a 5G and IMS based system, which is because this SS7 signal, by the way, is the foundation of 2G and 3G system. In 2G and 3G system, which you cannot do away with SS7. Now, if you are in a 5G and a 4G system, there is an IMS based signaling system. Now, in case of IMS based signaling system, what happens is that when a signal is transmitted from one location to the other location for accessing any information, then it is encrypted end to end. And this particular MSC will have to verify the authenticity of the other SSP who is transmitting the signal. You cannot simply fake anybody whatever you want. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say if this mobile A is trying to communicate with mobile B, all the signaling information which is traversing the network will be secure and encrypted, and the information of mobile A is going to be tagged along with that with that message in an encrypted form, which cannot be seen by any other element except for the target mobile which you are reaching. So there is no way to hack into the system in case of 5G and 4G unless you get access into the mobile itself, like Pegasus. If you have Pegasus in your mobile, you can't do anything about it. But if there are no malware in the mobile, the network will be immune to such attack. And that is what it says, that they cannot decipher or alter without breaking the encryption, and which is virtually impossible. It's almost like an IP system. When you are transmitting from one location to the other location, everybody, all hackers are part of the IP network, but they cannot break the encryption easily if the network encryption is secure. They can do denial of service attack, and there are ways to prevent denial of service attack where you can keep the changing the IP address dynamically to prevent the attacker to know what your IP address is, so that it does not prevent you to receive genuine messages. It will flood you with garbage, right? So prevent that, you adopt lot of complicated mechanism. So you will never know where the Google server is. The IP address of Google server is not known to the public. If the IP address is known to the public, then you can bombard the Google server with so much messages that the Google server will shut down. But you can only do that to the maximum extent, but you cannot, pierce the message, right? Now, so what happens is that, so now you will say, oh, by the way, we already have 4G and 5G system. So then what is the problem? The reason is though we have 4G and 5G system, we have trunk exchanges. Now these trunk exchanges, which are connected to islands of 4G and 5G system, had to connect to legacy system also. Because they have to connect to legacy system, you cannot have an end-to-end SIP based or IMS based signaling. You need to fall back to legacy system of SS7, and that's why the weakest link of the system, you can see here, this means that even with 4G and 5G network in place, the overall system remains vulnerable, as the weakest link SS7 based trunk exchange can be exploited, right? So what can we now do in order to prevent ourselves from this kind of attack? See, the biggest thing that we can do is that we can basically go to the authenticator app based authentication instead of using SMS based authentication. So there are various things that you can do. For example, if you're doing a financial transaction, if you are having a bank account, make sure that you don't keep crores of rupees in your bank account in saving account. You should always make fixed deposit, right? Don't keep a hard cash in your account, which can be siphoned off in no time. In one day, you will know that the money does not exist. That is point number one. The second point is that don't use SMS based authentication, right? You need to basically either you have a password which is watertight, so that SMS based authentication will not be able to create much difference, or we need to use system like authentic, because like if you go to SBI, you will see that SBI has an app which you can use either in the iOS system or the Android system, which generates OTP dynamically without you having to receive SMS. So there are apps which are available which generates OTP, and all financial system has started migrating in that direction rather than receiving SMSs, right? So that we can do. Another thing that we can do is that the telecom operators, what they can do is that they actually have to create firewalls, and those firewalls can be able to detect that when MSC is able to feign as if that the user has suddenly moved from, let's say, US to India or any other country, they should be able to detect that anomaly. Nobody will be able to travel in a speed of faster than light, right? So you can't basically move from one location to another location. So you have to basically create a system where these kind of faking in the system which people do is prohibited by putting proper firewall. Or you should be able to know which systems are more vulnerable and which systems can be trusted. So anyway, and then for voice messages, we can basically start using WhatsApp messages, WhatsApp call, etc., signal call, which do not transmit through SS7, which are basically using their own protocol, which directly transmit to internet, and they are not liable to such kind of attack, right? There could be some other issues with that, but they are not like. So in conclusion, so let me just conclude. So I think you probably understood what is going on in this whole thing. SS7 system will going to remain in the net. The whole system of SS7 is going to remain for a long period of time. Because of what? Because of 2G and 3G system not going to get out of the network so quickly. And you need to communicate to these exchanges, and therefore there is no way that you will be able to get out of this. The second problem is that you cannot deal with state actors. Like, for example, if a foreign country wants to monitor somebody in India and they have illegal access to SS7 network, because they don't require any kind of bribing their operators. They can simply have leveraged on their operator and say that give me access to your SS7 system, and they can basically start monitoring any network, any node, any mobile phone in any part of the world, right? Which you cannot help. So location identity of mobile phone, it is very difficult, right? So if you want to remain secure, you don't want anybody to know about your identification of mobile location, switch off your mobile. That is the only safest way to prevent identification of your location, right? You should not be part of the mobile telecom network or use an IP-based system, right, which is not connected to the mobile using SS7. And then, as I told you, that we need to try to avoid SMS-based authentication and go to app-based authentication for all kind of business. So friends, that's all I had, and probably you got a very good idea as to where we are, how vulnerable these systems are, because there are so many points that these system can be hacked. Because if you get access to a system and you are able to emulate yourself as a mobile switching center, which is very easy to do, you can get access to an SS7 point, then you can play with the system and you will find some weakness, some point to enter the system, even if there are firewalls. So friends, I thought that this video, I wanted to give you this concept, and how important this is. The security is not at the handset level because of Pegasus. It is actually everywhere. So any country can monitor their citizen. Not only that, they can monitor the citizens of other countries, at least to the granularity of the location of a base station. So thanks friends for your time. I hope that you understood and you liked this video, and I'll get back to you with a new video next time. Thank you very much on a new